Welcome back again to Not in My City Unite. I'm here again with Pastor Seth and Pastor Meredith. We're going to do part 2 of gaining generational wealth through financial freedom. Let's go into your classes and let's discuss about, because right now you have classes that you're teaching every Wednesday night. Let's talk about the classes. And of course, here at One City, you'll continue to do a rotation of classes this year. But let's start with class 1 and just take us through the track, per se, of financial wellness. And once I started a beginner and I began to advance, and then when I finish, how did that look?
So the class that we're teaching now starts looking at mindsets right off the bat. We use a good bit of material from Chris Valentin's book, Poverty, Riches, and Wealth. So we discussed in our first class the difference between what poverty is, what riches are, and what wealth is, and how it really truly is a mindset.
So explain that. Poverty, riches, and wealth.
Okay, so poverty is really just the mindset of, well, I just take life as it comes. There's just nothing I can do about it. It's just going to hit me from the left and the right, and I'm just out of luck. There's nothing I can do to change my circumstances. There's no point in trying to save for the future. I'm just going to live for right now. I'm just going to make memories and just live my best life now. Riches, on the other hand, could be somebody who has a lot of money, but it has a sense of entitlement. Well, I'm above the law because I'm just going to pay my way through. I'm just going to treat people less than because it's a status symbol, I think, sometimes. And then wealth, on the other hand, is how can I help you? How can I serve you? What can I do? Where can I help? Wealth looks to impact the world of others, where riches just get stuck in what else can I gain? What's in it for me? How can I make this better? How do I improve my own situation? One of the examples I love to use is Chris Hogan's example, where he coaches people all over the nation, people who have millions and millions of dollars, people who just walk into his office. He talks to a lot of different people. And one time he went out to California and was helping a professional sports player. Yeah. And he walked in and he was like, oh man, this house is beautiful. I mean, you've got this huge home and it just looks lovely. It's like a 3-story house. And he's like, can I see the rest of the house? And the sports player was like, oh, we don't go upstairs because we've only furnished the first floor. And so a lot of that I feel like was for show,
Yes.
Like look how much I've done and look what I've achieved. But when you peel back the layers, there's not a lot of substance there.
That's good.
And not to get down on that person, but you have to shift your mindset. You can't just live for, look at me, what can I get? You have to say, how can I help others? How can I impact those around me?
You got something?
Yeah, when it comes to those mindsets, because again, we're not talking about people who are in poverty. There are countries and people around this world that are in true poverty. We're talking about the mindset of poverty mentality.
You could make millions of dollars
and still be in a poverty mentality. It's sad when we meet those people who they can't even be a blessing to those around them because they're so bound by that mentality. And the same with riches, that can bind you to where you're not a flowing source. You're a stagnant source. And we all know what happens when a large body of water only has the inlet and doesn't have the outlet. It gets stagnant, it gets smelly, it gets nasty, and that's with poverty or riches. But when you have wealth, then again, you're thriving. You've got intake and output, and people are benefiting from that around you. And so, ask yourself, why did God give me this wealth? Well, that's a mindset. Real quick, you can go, well, God gave me this wealth so that I can look great in front of people. Well, no. Or God gave me this wealth so that I can look down on other people because they don't know how to control it as well as I do. Well, it's not our job to control it. It's our job to direct it.
That's good.
Direct the flow. So that's those 3 mindsets, and they are hard Very hard to break and get to that healthy mindset of, again, wealth.
And I think, too, at different points in our lives, we're in those different mindsets.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, when we started our financial journey, right after we got married, a lot of it was fear. A lot of it was poverty mentality, and then it shifted really quick to, well, we've got all this money now and look what we did. And then I had to break that really quick. Like, I can't sit in that. That's not okay.
Yeah.
And then now that I have kids, sometimes I find myself going back to, oh, well, I just don't know how we're going to be able to afford that. And, I just don't know how I'm going to make my dollar stretch. And then I have to think, okay, I gotta get my mind clear. I need to find my why again. I can't get stuck in the fear of lack, because that, I think, really inhibits people from being generous. The fear of lack is, that's something that the Lord put on my heart not too long ago. That's what keeps people paralyzed. Just the fear of everything,
Yeah, and in our class, the way we like to define stewardship is, and it may be a little confusing if you're not taking the whole class, but we define stewardship as choosing again and choosing better. And so every time you interact with money, you're making a choice.
Yes.
So in that moment, you're going to choose again, you're going to choose better. And when you find the good choices that produce well, you keep choosing those. Again, every day you wake up, you hustle and grind. You do your budget at the beginning of every month. You put percentages into your retirement. You put percentages into your rainy day fund. You pay attention and you're intentional, and you choose again, and you choose well, and you choose again, and you choose well.
And when you find yourself making a mistake, just take a breath, start over. Like he said, choose again, choose well, because there are months that we haven't been perfect. We'll find ourselves, February 10th. I'm like, did you start the budget for February? It's like, no, I thought you did, So there's hiccups along the way. No one is 100% consistent 100% of the time. I mean, that's just life. Things come at you and you find yourself, oh, that was a bump. I'm going to get back on track. I'm going to choose again. I'm going to choose well.
So the first couple of classes is mindsets. And then when you shift the mindset, where do we move to?
We move into budgeting and looking at the right way to do a budget, how to direct all of your dollars where they need to be. And again, income is variable. So it doesn't matter how much you make or how little you make. You can always do a budget. You can always tell your money where to go. But that gives you a clear picture of what you have going on in your life. And it's really telling about where your motivations are, where your heart is, really. Just a personal story, when we first started doing a budget, we looked one month and we're working everything out. And we had spent, it was just the two of us. We didn't have kids. We had just gotten married. And we spent $1,500 eating out at restaurants. That wasn't even groceries, So it just gives you a clear picture of what's going on in your life. Okay, well, I didn't realize I was spending that much over here. I need to pull the reins back on that because I need to redirect that somewhere else. And then after we work through budgeting, we help answer questions, and then it moves into things like goal setting and the power of habit and how to change habits and things like that.
I like what you're talking about, habits, because while you're talking, Pastor Seth and myself had a conversation, and he was like, if I just pull, your bank statement, I can tell you where your heart and your treasure goes, meaning your treasure, your money. And I was like, oh, don't pull my bank statement. If I could just pull and I can see where you spend the majority of your money, what you do, it tells just a blueprint of your life, of what you do and how you spend your money and where you spend your time as well. So that's key with everyone, to just look at your bank statements and just check out where your money's going. Because sometimes we can just swipe that card or, swipe our watch or do, it's so easy to spend money right now. So you just swipe that card. You don't go back and sit and look at a snapshot or really do a blueprint or a budget of what's going on in your life. So I like that you all sit down with each person, couple, family, and just allow them to see where they're at. So after mindset, budget, and then we advance to what?
Just habits and how to change your circumstances, what to do with after you gain some wealth.
Okay.
How to impact others, how to be outrageously generous. So that's really what we want to motivate people to do.
You have some success stories y'all want to share?
Yeah, we've had a few. The really cool ones is being at the beginning in somebody's story. We did the home course when we took financial peace and really got that into our just daily routine. But being able to sit there and coach someone through it, so being able to offer Financial Peace University, which is Dave Ramsey's class, then being able to offer the financial wellness curriculum that we've developed, and then being able to do the coaching sessions, when you see the light bulb click on in somebody's life, and they don't even know the journey they're embarking in, but they got it. And it's really great to see that. So we've had a lot of young couples come through that were in debt, really just not headed to great places in life because of the burden that debt was going to be on them. And watching them be able to come out from underneath that burden, to get financial freedom, to now they can choose whatever they want to. Imagine if you didn't have any bills, what kind of occupation you get to choose versus, well, I got to go to work because I got to pay these bills.
That's right.
It brings so much freedom everywhere. And so our success stories are watching people come in just this realm of possibilities that we get to experience, we get to live in our our own story, which is a success story, I guess. We got out from underneath that burden of debt, paid it all off, and then when it came time for us we were deciding to start having children, we had to go and get some treatments, and when it came down to the doctor telling us how much that was going to be, it just so happened that just a few months after we paid off debt, that monthly amount that I'm talking about, when we say hustle, we were hustling to throw an X amount of dollars at our debt to do away with it and get rid of it. It just so happened that dollar for dollar, what those treatments were going to cost us a month is what we were throwing at debt. We'd already committed it. God had already made the room in our lives to accomplish what he wanted us to be able to do.
Wow.
And so that's the excitement and the enthusiasm we have when we sit down with young couples or when we sit down with young individuals or old individuals. It doesn't matter where they're at in life. God's got possibilities for them, but they're so bound up with debt and mindsets that they can't get free to go on that journey.
And we have had success stories where we have younger families, younger people come in and they say, oh, I lost my job and I was able to support myself while I found another job. Or I, had all this debt and then we had kids and we eliminated that debt and then we were able to upgrade to a better family car and pay cash for it. And then that family was free from a car payment. That's the kind of stuff that we're after. Seeing single moms push through to finish school and say, I got a degree, I can make so much more money, I can provide a better life for my kids. I've made it. I've made my goals. I've hit what I set out to do for myself, and just really see people kind of, like Seth said, the light bulb go off and then just kind of change their world around them. And that is the best part to me.
Is there a cost for the class?
Not for hours, not for the financial wellness class.
Okay.
Dave Ramsey, which we do teach multiple times a year, that one does have a cost because it's his curriculum, his program, but there's so much that comes with that, so many tools. Is well worth what he charges. But ours is on Wednesday nights. It's different semesters throughout the year. We're currently in our spring semester right now. That'll be wrapping up soon, and then we'll offer it again probably towards the fall. But that one there's no curriculum purchase necessary. If you want to buy the book, you can go on Amazon or go to the library, whatever you want to do, and get the book for Chris Volaton, because that's one of the main resources for our curriculum.
And at this time for coaching sessions, most financial coaches do charge a fee, and it can be up to $175 per hour. But as a ministry out of One City Church, we have decided to offer those coaching sessions free of charge.
Wow.
So they are sponsored, by the church, and we are based out of this house. So we do offer that, but it is open to the community, and we do want to reach out and offer those services. And we are connected with people around us, such as attorneys, investment analysts, and
we try to pull a bunch of resources in the community together. But there are some businesses that we speak with and coach through things, but again, we're here to coach and just get resources out there. And so individuals, businesses, entities, whatever, we're here to be that type of a resource.
And we're here to meet you where you are. So you don't have to have a checklist before you come sit down with us. We'll talk to you if you have $600,000 in debt. We'll talk to you if you make $600,000 a year. You know, it doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to pay off so much money before you come sit with us. You don't have to have so much saved before you come sit with us. We just want to talk to you where you are, see what your heart is, and help you understand and just be better with what you have.
So would y'all be willing to go to other churches, interact with other nonprofit organizations, ministry, businesses to help teach this course in class and coaching sessions with them?
Yeah, we've been focusing the last several years here in the house developing this. We've recently, in the last year, decided this does need to go to the community. And so that's where we're branching out and looking at is where is what we call community connection points. Where can we connect to people who they're not going to walk into church. And
That's right.
And they're not going to walk into church for finance reasons.
Yeah.
But if we can go out and find them, meet them where they're at, we can get some tools in their hands to help them accomplish what they're trying to accomplish in life.
So let's talk about where we're in right now as the nation is getting, with tax season, getting your income tax in, also the multiple stimulus checks we've gotten in. How would you tell a family, single person, what percentage of the money we're getting in would they save for a rainy day fund or to invest? How would you tell us how to use this extra money that's coming in wisely?
So the principles that we find in Dave Ramsey's curriculum of the 7 baby steps, which we got into a couple of them earlier, and that can all be found on his website, or you can call up to the church and ask us and we can walk through them with you. But you stay the course no matter what the circumstances are. Otherwise, you're going to get whipped all around in life. So if you're in a desperate situation and you are finding yourself, okay, stimulus checks coming in, focus on the 4 walls, like we talked about.
Get caught up, if you're behind on certain things, just go ahead and bring yourself up to date so that you're immediately, okay, a place I can breathe.
If you're employed.
Yes.
Because if you've lost your job and that comes in, the things that, that can wait, let them wait so that you do have food to eat or your children have food to eat and things like that. Focus on that. If you find yourself in a little bit different situation where this is just, you really don't know what to do with this money, apply it to where you are in the program. If you're not in the program, find a program and work it, but do what you would do as if this was any money coming in. And that's what we try to teach people. That's why we can teach people making 6 figures and people making below the poverty line in the nation. Work the program, apply it where you're at as you would with any income coming in. Also, information is really, really, really key.
Okay.
When I go sit down with a CPA to do our taxes, because I don't do that myself, I sit in a room, a conference room with him, and I look around that room, and there's these books that line all of the walls, and most of them say that year's tax date. That tells me that all of that is the tax code for that year, that individual spends the time poring over, learning, and understanding. And so when things are just up in the air like they are right now, trust an individual who knows the systems that are in work with the government, because there's a lot out there with this most recent stimulus check that has to do with early payments, essentially, if you have children, and you want to take those appropriately so that you don't get a tax
penalty
at the end when you come to 2021 or 2022. And so those are things I don't know. And that's why I have a CPA that I use, and that's why we have CPAs that we recommend. So find information. If you have questions, you should find people who can answer those questions. And if you got a CPA that won't answer a question for you, you need a new CPA.
Yeah.
If you got any of those in the professional world and financial world, if you're investing in retirement and you call them up and say, hey, I got a question about this. Well, no, you don't need to worry about that. I'll handle all that. Well, you need to fire them and go get a new one, because you do need to know about it. You don't have to do it every day, but you need to know about it so that you can understand. And you don't get to the end of life and find out that nothing was handled properly. And that does happen.
Yes.
So when it comes to the stimulus check, get information. If you are in a dire situation or close to one, hold that and use it very, very, very wisely. We treat these things like windfall. This is not a windfall. This is survival funds.
Yes.
And so if you have the survival funds already, apply this with it. If you don't have them, then use it to survive off of.
Is it anything else y'all like to share?
I think using our church as a good example, we are very community minded. We're looking at how we can impact the community around us, how we can change people for the better. So I think as a church, look at your people. What's going on in the lives of your people? Are they being able to help others? Are they secure in what they're doing? Are they able to send extra funds to the food bank, to rehab programs, to crisis pregnancy centers? And if your church is not doing that, then I think it's time to take a step back and really look at, okay, what's our goal as a church?
That's good.
Are we here just to talk about living Christ-like with each other and not doing anything to impact and change the lives of our community? Because that's how you reach people. Living for Christ is not just sitting around singing, talking about, oh, God loves us all. He does. He loves us all. But he's also called us to make disciples, to love people the way he loved people. And he didn't just sit and wait for people to find him. He went to the homes of people who were hurting and broken. And he said, here, I have the way, I have the resource. Let me help you. Let me show you how to walk this way. So I would say if you, are a pastor, if you are a leader in your church and you're looking for ways to challenge your congregation or to challenge your friends, come talk with us. We'd love to talk to you and just say, this is what we have found through our own study of Scripture, through our own life experience. This is our plan for changing our community.
And for individuals on that same journey, know that it is a journey, and we teach it from the foundation of Scripture, but these are principles that have been around for the ages. And we like to liken it to just a person's body health. We all know what to do. When I go to the doctor and I get the blood draw done and the lab work done, they come back and say, you need to watch your cholesterol. And I pick up the phone, I call my older brother, who's about 11 years older than me, and I say, hey, do you have high cholesterol? What do you do? And every time he just goes, you know what to do. You know these things to do. Now, are there better ways to do it and find? Absolutely. And so for individuals out there searching, we can help you find those better ways. But you know at the end of the day what the problemed area is in your life, and we just want to help you get focused on it, get past it, and move on to bigger and better things for yourself.
Well, I want to thank you, Pastor Seth and Pastor Meredith, for being here with us on Not in My City Unite. Everyone, thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the reminder button so you can check us out on our next video. We'll see you again on Not in My City Unite.